Welcome in, my dear one. Psychic Mia here from Spiritual Society. What people find arousing about you? What makes you seductive? Get a cool glass of water. Turn your air conditioning on because it is going to be a hot and wild ride. A 100% YouTube compliant wild ride. So there will be some specific word choices, if you know what I mean. Today we're going to take a look inside of the way that you're perceived, the way that you are spicily perceived, the way that you hold your energy as well, and anything you need to know to enhance that and to lean into the things that are going to make you feel your freest, most spicy, most seductive, most alluring self. Our mission here is to help guide you to unblock your energy through spiritual practices like tarot readings so you can live your most aligned life. Looking at these cards, I want you to let your intuition guide you towards one of them. Take a breath, let yourself settle in, and choose a card right now. Welcome in, my card one, land and arrive. I am so excited to do this reading with you. What people find arousing about you. What makes you seductive. This is a spicy reading today. This is going to be YouTube compliant, so I'm going to use my words carefully, find the right way to say things so that everything is appropriate and wonderful. But I want you to just come into your physical body right now. I do want you to know that our anchor card is an animal and angel oracle card, and then I have a written card on top of it. We're going to pull that later towards the end. But right now, I just want you to come into your physical body, and I want you to let yourself, if you can, sort of let go of everything else. Come into a little bit of a playful spirit, where you're just here, you're just now. Nothing else really matters. I'm going to start with our gold deck, and I'm going to pull 3 cards for each side. Here we go. All right. Okay, we have the 3 of Wands, we have the 5 of Wands, we have the World, we have the Queen of Swords, we have the 7 of Swords, and we have the Knight of Pentacles. So much information coming in already. All right, my spicy dish. Let's get going. All right, so I'm sure I'm gonna make you laugh and I'm gonna make me laugh trying to say things in appropriate ways. And I'm here for that energy. Let's dive in, let's get into the heat. Now, right away, we really do have the heat. So we're bringing the fire. We've got the wands coming up first thing, and you know that our wands are bringing that fire energy with them. And our wands get into this passion, this intensity, this purpose, this drive. And really, I am feeling a lot of heat off of this. So I am feeling just sort of this presence of this, like this fire within you, that you're lit up, you're moving forward, you're doing things that light you up, that make you passionate, that make you want to move forward, to do the things that you want to be doing. There is a little bit of a, like a little bit of a maybe competitive spirit, but also like a little bit of a fight spirit, but in a playful way and in a sultry way that's very appealing. There's also something about you that's a bit mysterious, that is unknown, unseen, that your mind sometimes is away, and that you're, sort of maybe even off looking at other things or thinking about other things or reviewing other things. And that's very seductive. It pulls people into your energy and makes them wonder about you and wonder about your presence, having the fullness of your presence upon them. There is also this growth energy here. So and I really actually feel that growth energy as we're pulling these cards. I'm feeling that more as a sort of an undulating energy around you, that there is this ebb and flow of you, that it's moving, like a river that is moving. There's nothing stagnant about you. You're not just, even if sometimes you might feel stuck, your energy is not stuck. Your energy is moving constantly, and it's curious, and it's weaving, and it's enticing to anybody who's looking at you, anybody who's, dating you, anybody who's talking to you. And we also have the world. And the world brings with it, it brings these shifts and changes. What I'm really feeling off of this card in this reading, though, is the Dancer in the center. There is this openness about her. I have covered her, her nakedness up for YouTube, but she is very open, very exposed, very, partially nude anyway. There is something that is so just in yourself, where you're just so in yourself, you're so in your flow, you're so in this rhythm of this transition that you've been going through. And whatever that transition is, the ending of something, the beginning of something new, but you're just dancing your way through it. And you're really not too focused on even those people who are on looking at you, who are really enticed, really pulled in, really lit up, really, feeling the heat off of you. And there's something extremely seductive about that, something that just really wraps people up. And also, I feel like your energy can wrap people up and stay with them for longer periods of time. I feel that also with the Seven of Swords over here. But there is something just so open and exposed about you, that you are who you are, and you're living joyfully within that, and you don't have to hide that, you don't have to mask that, you don't have to put anything on top of that. You get to just be you, and it's brazen, it's bold, it's free. Free is actually really the word that I'm looking for there. There's something free about you. And when you get into physicality as well, when you get into, like that freedom is so sensual. It is so attractive, and also kind of mysterious in itself, because it's not something a lot of people possess. Now we have the Queen of Swords, so your mind also really comes into play here. You think in a different way. You're very sharp, you're very smart, you're very incisive, you're very wise, you're very cutting. You do see things that other people don't see. You see truths that other people don't see, but you just really, you're just seeing things and taking things in. You're really recognizing the world around you, and you're recognizing the person in front of you, and you're seeing them in a way that sort of takes away all of the artifice. It takes away all of the, you're making the people that you interact with, the lovers, any kind of romantic connection. But really, I really do want to open this up to the world at large, because, seduction and attraction and spice really seeps in, sensuality. It seeps into everything. It is beyond just the people who are, physically attracted to you or romantically attracted to you. This goes beyond that. And when they're in your presence, they become more like you, like this dancer, open and free and able to be possessed by themselves, because you see them that way. You already understand. You're already seeing them for who they are. You're already cutting through those layers that people put on top of themselves to keep themselves from being penetrated, from being seen. Now we have the Seven of Swords, and the Seven of Swords is this thieving card. And this is where I really feel that your energy sort of wraps around people, and they get carried away in their thoughts of you. And it's something they can't put down. It's not just something they can't put down. It's something they don't want to put down. That you've really you've got their thoughts, and their thoughts are really taken up. Their hands are full with you. Swords still getting into that mental space. but then it's enjoyable. It's thought-provoking. It's curious. It makes them more curious about how you are the way that you are, what it all means, what's beyond it, what's beneath it, what's inside of it. How does that energy get created? Everything about you. It's kind of like this big mystery, but just because you're embodying something that you naturally have. Now the Knight of Pentacles shows up, and the Knight of Pentacles is our lovely, reliable knight coming in, who shows up and is there and is consistent and is routine to some degree, and is reliable is the word that it keeps popping into my mind right now. But there's also something understated about our Knight of Pentacles, that though this is a wealthy knight, this is a knight that's, like bringing abundance and has this incredible wealth around them, this abundant energy around them, incomes, all of this, abundance. Even though that is true, there is something understated about the way that they handle themselves, that they are not full of show. They're not, jumping over hoops, that just by being who they are and showing up this way, they hold all this value. And I see that very much in you, that you are just showing up as you are. You're not trying to, and maybe sometimes you are trying, but this is the appearance of what's really pulling people in, that you're not, you're not putting on a show for anyone. You're just living in your light. And sometimes that might feel like a show to people. That doesn't mean you have to back off of it or that you have to deny it. Because people don't understand it. It is difficult to understand because it's so unique to who you are. And that's hard for a lot of people to understand, to be in a space that's kind of moving through a transition, and it has this vulnerability, but also this sort of playful dancing through things and this undulating energy. And you're showing up with all of this value. And you're showing up in this, you're just bringing what you've got, and you do it all the time. That's just what you do. That's just who you are. It's not, it's not a thunder and lightning moment. It's there, always, all the time. I want to keep with our gold deck. So let's continue on with our gold deck. I want to keep with this question. I just want to look into your... Actually, I would like to move from this question a tiny bit, and I would just like to pull out, beyond what other people are perceiving off of you, what really is the makeup of your energy that is so sensual, that is so spicy, that is so seductive, that is so attractive. And that, of course, resonates to other people. But I really just want to take a look inside of you and your energy, so that we're not necessarily looking at perception. We're really just looking at what you've got. Hi, Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, there is something really lucky about you. But it's not just lucky. It feels like this gold coin energy and this gold energy, this golden light off of you. There is something that just feels like it's bringing all this value, abundance. It just feels like this wealth that you're just bringing, and you hold this magnitude within yourself. And that is, what you've cultivated over the years. But also it is a birthright. It is something you were born into as well. It is something that was dropped at your feet. And it is incredible. It is something to be grateful for, and it's something to look for. All of those pieces. If occasionally you feel, defeated, or if you feel, like you're getting pushed to some other space other than yourself, I do want you to come in search of that, because you were gifted with this incredible abundance, with this incredible golden value that you bring, this, just this wealth that you're just showing up is in this rich space, is this rich version of you. Now, I'm not looking at the cards right now, but I am going to let the energy guide me to, okay. And we have the Four of Cups. Now, this is very interesting. And I am feeling this, our cups usually get into feelings and emotions. And I'm feeling this in sort of two ways, that part of your seduction and part of your allure of what is so attractive and so spicy and so yummy is also that you are choosy and you aren't open for business, that you're not just open to anyone. You're not open for feelings and emotions for just anyone. You will hold your heart. And that can be a dangerous thing sometimes, because sometimes we do have to open up in order for like true love and soulmateship and the yummy things to be available to us. But I trust you also to know your intuition of when that time is right. And there is something that is innately seductive and something innately very attractive and alluring about the way that you are discerning. That you're not just like, oh yes, well I'm gonna love this person, I'll love that person, and also I'll be physical with this person, I'll be open to that person. Like there is something discerning about you. So even your royal no is very attractive as well, which makes sense. No can always be attractive. Let's go ahead and continue. And the Hanged Man pops up. And you do have this outsider's perspective. Now, as far as physicality goes, it does feel like you also have an outside viewpoint on the way you are physically with people in romantic ways. That you don't play by the normal rules. I mean, that could get into anything. That could branch off into many different things. But I also think it's just part of your being an outside of the box thinker, that you are so smart and you do see things and you can calibrate to different people, but also you just see things differently. So you do things differently. You don't feel like you have to jump in right away. You're okay with waiting for what it is that you desire and what it is you crave, and you understand the buildup of that and how attractive it can be to have to wait for something or to have to hold back until you're ready to move in. There's something delayed gratification. That's the word. Delayed gratification. That's two words, I guess. But you do have this sense of understanding that you're not, I guess, and again, you might at times feel needy, but you're really not. You really are able to hold your own space. And you really are able to really make a decision for yourself of like, okay, I'm not going to do this just to placate you. I'm not going to open my heart to you just to placate you. I'm not going to invite you in all the way just to placate you. Like, we'll see. Let's see how it goes. I'm going to wait and see. I'm going to take a look. I want to observe. I want to notice. And you do read energy really well. So I do think there's something really intuitive about you as well. Ooh, I like this. This is fun. Okay, let's continue. Okay, and we have the moon. And this really pulls me back into that mystery, that there is something that is not fully seen about you. There's something that's not fully known or understood about you, which is again, there's something tantalizing there. The curiosity, the need to know, the need to discover, the need to see. But regardless of that need that other people may have, you hold your own and you stay in your own space. Now, I would be curious if you sometimes get exhausted by that. And perhaps sometimes you don't even open yourself up to being fully seductive to other people because you don't want to have to deal with the repercussions of having this influx of people trying to get through to you, trying to get through the wall, trying to get in, offering you cup after cup after cup. I would be very curious about that. I'm going to pull some more cards, of course, but we're going to take a look at that as well. But there is something very mysterious and there's something hidden. You don't put everything on display. You aren't, and now I say that, and I have the dancer here that's completely, open and exposed, but it's different. You are who you are, but you also have this energy And you have these truths and you have these things that are yours and that are not known to everyone. Even though you're very open in your energy of who you are and dancing through it, it doesn't mean that you're a complete open book. It just means that you're very open to life. Your energy is very open to life and moving forward in that energy. But there is something very hidden and mysterious about you. Oh my. Okay, I want to pull 2 more gold cards and then I want to switch decks. So I want to pull this card, our 5 of Swords. I feel this. This is, you can feel what the energy is coming off of here. Now, I feel this as we've been going through here and this energy has been coming up. I feel this ability in you to, and I don't want to say that you're ever cruel, and I don't want to say that you're brutal, but you also, you don't, even if you do close yourself off sometimes, we're going to find out about that. I'm curious about that. But there is something about you that's like, but I'm still not going to bend to this. I'm not going to bend to you and what you want from me just because you want that from me. Whatever you're, going to take. Like, you're able to be flirtatious with life and really winning in life, but also you don't mind that you're taking people's thoughts and you're kind of just moving through it in your own way and making sure that you're taken care of. Now, I assume sometimes that is not true when your heart gets involved in you with love, and that, sometimes that can, not be the case. But I would say, as a general rule, you have this ability to really take care of yourself and fend for yourself, and that you feel a sort of almost playful spirit about being able to, turn people down and move them away and, say no. I love this royal no that keeps coming up. I feel like you've got a real sense of this royal no, that you're able to just say, no, it's, you're not for me, but I'll still take your thoughts, but I'll still be in your thoughts. I'll still be the person who, sort of hangs around your energy field. Okay, and our last gold card is the 10 of Pentacles. And this makes so much sense to me as we've been coming from this very abundant space, that you're bringing all this value and worth and abundance. And this is a completion card, a card of completion, that you really, like, what the pieces that people feel off of you that feel so seductive, so attractive, that feel like they just have to get in the inside scoop. They have to get through the door. It's because there really is this deep well of wealth, that there is this incredible generosity within you. And you have this incredible generosity because you have it to give. It is overflowing in your life. It is overflowing in your spirit. It is overflowing within you. You don't have to hold back. I imagine that you're a very creative person as well. That you do have just the way that you think and your thought process and being able to see things the way that you see things, that you're able to find solutions. You're able to find the wealth in things. And so you don't worry about running out, because there is no running out. You've got this overflow. There's an overflow for you that you don't have to worry about it. And that is what people feel and what's like bringing them in. And it is this temptation of this wealth within you, this, this unending sort of wealth within you that just keeps them coming back and coming back and coming back over and over again, and in thoughts too. Now I want to pull our pink deck. I would like to pull out our pink deck, and I would like to ask some specific questions about you. So I would like to know, I kind of want to just read your energy field with this. I just want to see what the cards have to say and see what pops up. Like, what's going on with you? But not just what's going on with you. I do want to sort of stay in this, this space of like getting into this spicy space where you feel you're your most sensual self. You're your most attractive self. You are, in your sensuality. You are in your seductiveness. You are flirting with life, where everything just feels in that kind of yummy, fiery spirit. I want to take a look at that energy for you and what we need to know about that for you. So I want to pull into that specific energy and see what's popping up here. Oh, we have the Hangman reverse. I love our synchronicities, as you know. So we have the Hangman reverse. So what seems, you have this within you. This isn't just what seems. This is something you have within you, that you have this reserve. You have this ability to see things from your own perspective. You have the ability to hold back. I do feel like perhaps either you don't feel like you are seeing things from a unique perspective, or you don't recognize your innate gifts that way, or you don't recognize your ability to hold off. Once again, that feeling of delayed gratification. You might feel, like that's not a gift of yours. Like I might have said all this stuff and you're like, I don't know, man, that doesn't sound like me. But there's something that is off about it. So you possess this inner perspective, this inner intuition, this inner ability to wait, this inner ability to have that delayed gratification, wait until you've decided it's your choice, seeing things from a different way than everybody else sees it. But there is something off with this with you right now. So there is something where maybe you feel disconnected from it. Maybe you denied this in yourself with someone recently. Maybe there was someone recently where you wanted to wait and hold back, but they were really pushy. And so you kind of just sort of let yourself, sort of like give into their energy, even though your energy wasn't really open to the romance of it, that like you were like, no, this isn't really the thing. Or you didn't follow your intuition on something that, in retrospect, you should have, and now maybe you're not trusting your intuition. Or maybe you're not trusting your perspective. You're not trusting your own outsider judgment, and you're like looking to other people's vision instead of your own, because you are disconnected from that a little bit somehow. I want to keep in this energy. I'm not ready to change the question, but I would like to ask about, like what we can do to reset you as well. Oh, like I said, I love our synchronicities. We have the Five of Wands. So we have that fire energy that's really coming in. And you do have this combustible energy within you. So the things that people are perceiving about that are accurate. And maybe there's this playful argumentativeness about it as well, or maybe this competitiveness about it as well. But there is something that's sort of, what else I'm reading in this? I'm reading something different too. I am reading that maybe you, there might be a part of you that is very seduced yourself by having to struggle for something that, and this is extremely common. This is not, to, somebody who perhaps doesn't seem as available or doesn't seem as interested, or that you feel like you have to fight for them or work for them or like get their attention, that's where you feel your seductive power. That's where you feel your animal instincts kick in. That's where you feel yourself really come alive to it, which is interesting, and can also be very challenging. That can be really tricky if you're really mostly turned on by, an energy that's kind of pushing you away or rebuffing you in any way. That gets hard. That's not an easy road to tote because, for obvious reasons. Let's continue. Again, I'm going to ask questions about, what we can do to align that energy later, if that's something you want to do. Okay, and then we also have the Page of Cups. I love this popping up. This is a very playful card. So there is also, and I do feel like in part this is something to really lean into, and in part a remedy for some of this playfulness, that you have this emotional space that is very tapped into this playfulness, this flirtatiousness, where you're not taking things too seriously. You're not, it's that kind of thing where someone says something to you and you respond back with a ridiculous answer. It's that kind of feeling. Everything is not riding on this. This is not the most important thing in the world. You're just sort of here to play. You're here to have fun. You're here to, just sort of be yourself and live in the joy of the moment and be very present and feel the energy of what you're feeling in the moment. I do feel like you've got a real presence about you, and that you've got this really that undulating energy around you. It makes me feel like you are probably a very present human being, that you are often very much where you are. I also see that is, can go some other ways at different times when you're, pulled back into an undercurrent, or you're not fully in yourself, or you're sort of denying any part of yourself, and your thoughts probably go with that as well. But there does seem to be a real presence about you, and boy, is that yummy. Now, I do want to ask about what we can do. So I want to ask specific. I would like some action-oriented cards. I would like things that are really specific for you, so we can realign your energy and you can feel like, whoa, I'm on fire for life. I feel seductive with life. I feel like I just want to, like I am in myself. I feel so free and alive. That is where I want you to feel. Oh, look at that. Gosh, I love pulling duplicate cards. We have the Five of Swords once again. Our Five of Swords is underneath of these pink cards over here on our gold deck. So our Five of Swords, as I was saying before, is that kind of, there is a part of you that is a little bit brutal, a little bit, and I don't want to say cruel again, but I like that idea, and I know that sounds terrible, but I don't mean it in a bad way, and I don't think you mean it in a bad way, and I don't think anybody's taking it really in a bad way. This isn't that kind of, I'm not, talking about, hurting anybody. That's not how I feel this. I mean this in a way of protecting yourself and of not taking things too seriously and being like, okay, cool. Well, yeah, I'm sorry, you're not for me. Like, okay, yeah, well, I've loved this flirtatious dance that we've had, and I love this energy, but I don't want to move forward with you, and that's okay. And you feel very okay about that. And there's something where you are really protective of yourself. And there is some warrior spirit about yourself too, that you really do come up, and you have your own back. And I love that. Even if sometimes you don't trust yourself, but you really have your own back. Now, I was asking for action-oriented cards. And as an action, I feel like there's a need to reassert yourself this way. Perhaps there's someone in your life right now that you're starting to feel bad about, and to remind yourself that there is this playfulness to it. This is not life or death. Everybody has their own little buttons within them where they can be hurt, but you have a really good way of being able to playfully turn people down without ripping them apart or hurting them. You can do this. So reasserting yourself this way, where you're really just taking your own back. Now, I think you're going to have to figure out what that action is, that there is something that you can do right now, whether it's giving a decisive no to someone where you've been leading them on, or you've been, kind of keeping them on the line, or you've been really worried about hurting somebody's feelings, or even just pulling back from being yourself. You just don't feel like your brave self. Like you don't feel like you can be as open and exposed as you like to be, as your nature has you. There's something that needs reassertion here. I would love, oh no, look, our Five of Swords is right there. That's hilarious. I said it was underneath here. It's right there. You're probably seeing that the whole time. Look at that. Look at that. Oy, oy, oy. Okay, so you do have homework here, and you know what that is. So I would make a little note of it right now if you so choose and decide when you're going to do that, or you can just do it as soon as this is over. But you must remember to do that. And these actions are so important because they start that energy moving. Now, this doesn't have to necessarily do with anyone else either. This can, this could just be reasserting yourself as being in your energy, as being your fullest self, letting yourself, come back into that dancer space where you're dancing through and you're not too worried about it. And you've got your back no matter what, but there is something there. Okay, and now I'm still asking for action-oriented things. The Three of Swords. Boy, it feels like you really... Okay, so I feel some emotions coming through, and it feels like there is some deep pain here, and some real hurt, and some real heart hurt, and it feels like you might need to take a moment to let yourself, I don't even want to say grieve it. I'm feeling a push to tell you that you can be angry about it. You can have negative feelings about it. You can let yourself feel the slice of it. And even if that doesn't make sense, you know what I mean? Even if you told the story to a friend and your friend was like, well, you can't be mad about that. You can be mad about that. You can have your own sort of righteous indignation. You can have your own feeling about it. You can have your own anger about it. You can have your own hurt about it, even if it doesn't really make sense. Even if it doesn't, add up that like, oh, they did this and that makes this. No, you can just feel what you feel. You don't have to have any disclaimers around it whatsoever. You can just feel it. And maybe this is, letting yourself recognize those feelings for a moment. Maybe it's recognizing them for a few days. This isn't somewhere I want you to stay, but it is something I think you might need to touch on. So, you can have a little, playlist or a dance off with yourself, or, something where you let yourself feel the slice of that there's something really hurtful. There's something really hurtful here, even if you can't put words to it. The energy can be hurtful. The way it happened can be hurtful. The facial expression can be hurtful. A tonality of the way someone says something can be hurtful. And, even if you can't describe it to someone accurately to make them understand that it's hurtful as well, it doesn't matter. You can just feel that. Boy, and that feels very Hanged Man. And that feels very, instinctual, and getting to your intuition of what is going on, but being told something else is going on. And that feels like the kind of space where you might deny yourself your understanding of what it is you're seeing and what you're reading. And you may have turned that switch off since something happened here. I would love a comment about that. I know that's so personal. So it's completely okay if you don't want to, but if you do feel vulnerable to comment and share, I would love to know if that's hitting something for you. Okay, I'm pulling one more action-oriented card. And we have the Nine of Wands. Yeah, this comes back to some hurt space. So this is a figure that's been hurt, that's getting back up, that's taking the stance again. And we're back in the Wands energy. We're back in that fire energy. And I think that this is a call. Now, we're asking for action, and my understanding of this action, the feeling of it, is really just standing up. But obviously there's something more to that. And it gets back into your fire. So letting yourself, I'm going to say letting yourself feel the fire within you again, all of the passion again. Now, if we're moving this into romantic territory of seduction and spice, I would say put on a really hot outfit. Do yourself up real good. And you don't have to go anywhere with it. If you're not ready to fully, this is really just standing up. This can be like, hey, I made a party for myself and I'm going to look like the hottest version of myself all day long while I work from home, while I run my errands, it doesn't have to be for anything else, where it's just you lighting yourself back up. This is like turning the pilot light back on when you've had the pilot light off all summer, or it's just turning the pilot light back on. That's how I want you to think about it. It's just a jump start, and then the heat rolls, and there it goes. It's on. Now it's on whenever you need it, whenever you want it. And I would love for you to make a fuss about it. I don't want you to make so much of a fuss about it that you don't do it. I would just like you to do it. Okay, this has gone on a very long time, and I apologize for expanding and expanding. Okay, now I would like to go ahead and read your anchor card, your animal card, and also your written card. So the animal card that we pulled for you, is parrot. Listen intently to understand. Oh, I like this. I like this for so many reasons. There is a freedom here, the freedom of flight, but also there's something so colorful here, so playful here, but there is also this need to come back inside and really pull back to what it is you are actually seeing, what you are actually observing from your own point of view, what is really coming through for you, and trusting that. And you might have to dip into hearing what you're saying, but also hearing what other people are really saying again, to trust yourself again, to trust that feeling that like, ooh, yeah, no, I know what's coming through. And I want to turn over our written card too. Oh, and observe is your written card, which is absolutely perfect, which is pretty much the same thing as listening intently. So in observe, what I mean in observe is that I want you to really, gosh, I feel so many synchronicities, and we have a loud motor going by, but which I always say outside sounds amplify the message. What I really mean by this is being in your presence, being in the moment. And I don't mean this just romantically. I don't mean this just as a method of seduction or a method of, of spicing up your life, but it is spicing up your life. It is sensual. And like I said, you can have that sort of sensuality around you with everyone. This isn't just lovers and, soulmates, and it's not just that. I want you to really just take in what is going on around you. What are people really saying when they say something? What happens to that facial expression? What is in their body language? Notice what's really being said to you. Notice what you're reading off of somebody before they have spoken a word. Notice what you're doing, what your reaction to that is. Notice how people react to your energy. Now, this is very interesting because I do feel like you are very much in the moment, like you are very present. Not always you have moments where, but I do feel like that is a gift of yours. Now, I also think that there is a part of you that is sometimes perhaps almost maybe intentionally oblivious occasionally. Like you do sort of put blinders on to just be in your path. I'm just in my path, doing my thing, in my energy, which is pulling people in. But I want you to open those blinders up and really let yourself see everything that is around you, everything that is going on, everything that is affecting your energy. I want you to become extremely aware, extremely present. I've loved this. This is so fun. Also, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. It means the world to me. It means the world to the team. We're going to keep doing content just like this. You'll get, I guess maybe you have to hit notifications to get notified. But I'd love for you to do that. But also, I'm just so grateful to have you here. I love comments, and I read all the comments, even if I don't comment on comments. I really, it just blows up my energy field. And I know there's a lot of personal information, so just whatever you feel comfortable commenting on. If you want to drop a parrot below, I'm sure there must be a parrot emoji, or any kind of colorful bird if there's not a parrot. Oh my goodness, I'm sending you so much love, so much light, so much fire, so much spice, so much seduction, so much flirtation with life, so much being in yourself with your own vision, holding your own, taking your own back, and just being in your undulating energy field. Until I see your precious self again. Mwah. Mia. Landon arrived. Welcome in my card too. I'm so happy to have you here. What people find arousing about you. What makes you seductive. So this is going to be a spicy little journey into the sensuous. And we're going to keep it appropriate for YouTube. So, bear with my wording as I go. But also, this is really fun. Let's go ahead and get started. So our anchor card here is going to be an animal and angel oracle card. And then I have a written card on top of it. We're going to do that last as a little cake topper. And we're going to start with our gold deck. I want you to get into a little bit of a playful spirit right now, but I really also want you to get into your body. I want you to feel what is around you, just sensations. Is there air on you? Is there sun on you? Is there heat on you? What is in your energy field? What's going on? So I'm starting with this question about what other people are finding arousing about you, what they find seductive about you, what is pulling them in that way, in that spicy, passionate way. And then I am gonna mix this up a little bit. I want to look into your energy of what is solidly in that space for you, what yummy things are popping up, and then also what the cards are reading is there in your energy field. And then I also want to take a look at anything that we need to know, or ask any questions about that. Let's get started on this yummy journey. We have the 4 of Cups. We have the 7 of Cups. We have the 10 of Wands. We have the 8 of Cups, lots of cups. We have the Ace of Wands, and we have the Fool. Ooh, okay, we've got a lot of information coming in. So you'll find that some of my readings of the cards are probably going to be different than normal because we're really in this question. So they're, the answers are still being drawn from the card, but it might be coming through a different way. So we're going to start with the 4 of Cups. Now I pulled this in card 1's reading, and I am feeling this in a similar way, that there is something about you that is elusive, that is a little bit untouchable. Now, I do think that you're housing a lot of water energy. You're housing a lot of, and I mean that in an emotional feeling way, that you have a lot of waves, you have a lot of rolling tides, you have a lot of emotions, you have a lot of feelings, you have a lot of intuition, you have this body of water in your energy that is something you can choose to walk into. It's something that sometimes you probably choose to stay out of. But it's something that is very available to you, and this is popping up as one of those things. So this is something that you have very much available to you. You have tons of feelings and emotions, and I don't even just mean that in feelings and emotions. I mean this as we're getting into the spicy way of this, something that is deeper, something that is, alluring, that is pulling people in, that is something they want to touch, that they want to be able to tap the top of the water and have the ripples go out. They want to be able to throw stones in there. They want to be able to move you. They want to be able to see how your movement, the movement of your emotions and your feelings, what can light you up, what can, you might have people that even provoke you in life because they're doing that. And so you have it very much available to you, but there is something about you that is a little untouchable, that is discerning, that is, it has a filter for people, that you're not just letting anyone come up and disrupt your flow. You're not just letting anyone come up and disrupt your waves. I'm seeing a lot of this sort of, we haven't pulled the Queen of Cups here, but I'm feeling that kind of energy, around you, that there is this, but that you have this ability to shield and to protect, which as well can get into some territory that can make it difficult for you to have all the experiences you want to have, but that can get into deeper areas with love and soulmateship, etc. But also it is a very strong, fishing line that you put out, that you're not an easy catch. You're not you have a wealth, but you're not giving it to everyone. There is a part of you that is very much, nope, that's not for me. I'm good, thanks. You've got to take care of. You know what you want. You know what you don't want. You know what you're accepting. And there's a lot that you won't accept. And that is very seductive. We have the Ten of Wands, which is a card of completion. This is a fiery card. This is a spicy card. I really like pulling this card when we're asking about seduction and we're asking about, this kind of internal inferno, because it is a fire card, and all of our wands are fire cards. Wands, Ace of Wands over here as well, and it is a card of completion. There is something strong about it. There is something bold about it. There is something that is willing to do difficult things. There's something that you are willing to do difficult things. You don't take the easy path just because you can take the easy path. It's okay with you if you have to sweat for it. And I don't just mean that in like a romp, sort of way, that you are, really working for it. I knew saying some things would be tricky, but you know what I mean. But what I mean is just in your life, you are attacking things. You are like, hey, bring it to me. I've got this. I can handle anything. You have a level of confidence about you because you can move it forward. You can keep the game moving forward. And you may not be at your destination yet, but that's okay. You're still moving forward, and you're doing it while you are lit up and you are fiery. Now, I also think this gets into physical attraction, that there is something explosively physically attractive about you. But I think that also, the physical attractiveness about you, often really stems from this, incineration going on within you, that you have this passion, that you have this buildup, and it just sort of oozes out through your energy and ends up, manifesting in like physically attractive ways as well. Now we also have the Seven of Cups, and I love pulling this here, and I do see this in a sort of specific and different way, but just that your imagination, your ability to pull yourself into different spaces. And this gets me into the thinking of how playful, how imaginative in your romance, in your courting, in your, bedroom time. I have that must be YouTube compliant to say that, but in your provocative, journeys, that you have this, there's this adventurousness, that you think of new things. That's not even something you've really seen before or done before, but you just have this playful spirit about it. It is, like a little like fun and interesting and different, and you have a great imagination for it. You have a great creativity that is attached to emotion. This is our Cups territory. That is attached to feelings with it, but I love pulling that here. Now we also have the Eight of Cups. Now the Eight of Cups, we see this person sort of walking away from all his cups, and I do get the same feeling again. There is something untouchable about you. Now that doesn't mean that you should hammer down on being untouchable. I do think it is generally because obviously there's a lot of outside energy that is very attracted to your energy, and you do have to put up a huge net around yourself. But also, you do want to keep that open, free spirit, which I think you do, because we have the Fool over here too. So there is something very alluring and very seductive and very attractive about this, that you are not, you're not running towards everyone like a puppy who needs, I need your attention, I need your attention, I need your attention. It's not that kind of energy. It's a more autonomous energy, that you are okay walking away from something. You are okay on your own, even if it feels lonely, even if you're, sometimes barely feel like you're doing it, or if you're still hungry for something different. This person's not stopped, turned away. They're walking towards something. You're still walking towards something, moving towards something, but you have no problem, sort of being like, yeah, that's not for me. And here we go. I'm going to journey on from here. And I don't need the accolade to the feelings of everyone else to validate me, which is, I'm sure have all felt people who have that gift, and you have that gift, and we know how attractive that is. The Ace of Wands comes in. And again, we're back in that fire energy. So I do feel, again, this physical attractiveness, that there is your presence, your person, your face, your style, yourself, your body, your movement, your language, the way that you're in the world is very attractive. It is very seductive. It is spicy hot. It is, there's that little furnace going with it, and there is this sort of like intense energy behind it, that you do have this little energy of intensity with it, and then I also feel it's just from an energy aspect, that the way you attack life, it's not just the way you attack life, it's the way you grab life. There we go. That is a much better word for this card. You are grabbing life. You are grabbing opportunities. You're digging in. You're taking a big bite, and you are chewing. It is, hey, I'm in this. Let's try it out. Let's go. I'm ready to run with this, and I'm ready to light I'm ready to light this up. It's, interesting that I always say this reminds me of the Olympic torch sometimes, but that feeling, because it's so, that fire energy, but also this, like something's being handed off to you and you're going to run with it now. Like it's that feeling of like, I am moving forward here. There's something new coming in. And you bring something new in with you every time that you come into something. Now we also have the Fool, and this is where I feel that expansive energy. And this is kind of the first time I'm feeling that expansive energy. There's a lot of, I would like you to note, back turned, face turned, but arms crossed and not interested. This is a lot of, I don't want to say no energy, but there's a lot of, you're a little bit removed. You're a little hard to get to. Now we have the expansive energy, which is open. It is, I'm willing. I am here. I'm open to it, and I am willing. And I think this really gets into when you are with a lover, when you are with a significant other, you're with an actual person that you're choosing, as opposed to like just the masses of human beings that are around you who are, kind of knocking on your door, or your energetic door, if they don't feel that they even want to, or are going to be able to make it past, the knock, that maybe they don't even come that far. But this is for the people, the insiders a bit more, where you, and not just the insiders, but for your soul and your energy, that it is open. You are open. You are expansive. You are expanding, and you aren't afraid. You aren't afraid of being stupid, and you aren't afraid of falling down, and you aren't afraid of, and even if you are afraid, you do it anyway. You're there for it. There is something that is so willing, and also maybe how important it is that you have to be open, because you want what you want, and so you're going to be open to it. And it is, again, this incredible magnetism, this incredible pull for something that is so enticing, so spicy, so yummy, that's very hard to, I would say, keep a balance with. That any lover or significant other that you take on, probably has a hard time maintaining their balance with you. That they just want to go where you're going, because they'll follow, because you have this incredible energy that you bring with you that is not a reason to pull back on it. I have to be careful with my words. I want you to also honor and acknowledge that as you evolve and things change, different things will be seductive and attractive, and you are very lovable no matter what, at the core of you. And so it's important that you honor you and you own you. Now, what I want to look at now is I would like to look at the energy that we're pulling up in the same arena: seductiveness, sensuality, spiciness, the things that make you like red hot, oh my goodness, want to have you, need to have you kind of thing. But I want to look in your energy, not in the perception of other people, the way other people are taking you in. Just what is really there that is so like, ooh, did you know that about you? Have you been praising yourself for this lately? Have you been honoring this, spicy bit of you? Oh, wow. The Eight of Swords pops out. This is not a card I expected to pull. The Eight of Swords is very interesting to come in here. And I love it when this happens, because sometimes we get messages that come through that are like this, where it's something that you've been fighting against, or that you have felt is wrong with you, that is actually one of your gifts. So there is something about you that you've perhaps, I don't want to say not taken responsibility for certain things, but this does get into a space of, sort of tying yourself up. And I mean, of course, we could get into other spicy things like that. And, if you want to play with that, absolutely do it if you feel called to do it. But I'm feeling this as that there's a part of you that's been like emotionally tied up or mentally tied up, where you've kind of been in a prison of certain of your own making in certain ways. And it's not even just your own making. Somebody else could have made it, but you've let yourself stay there when you could have gotten out. And this is the kind of space that you can get into where you really beat yourself up for being in that space. And it feels like a thorn in your side. It feels like, oh, how did I let myself get here? This is almost, I hate this space. This space is a curse. I just wish that I could be free of this space and be in this full space, or I could be really open and be really, have that expansive energy all the time. But there's something inside of you where this actually comes in as something that you should honor as a part of your divine sensuality. That there is a part of you that you can almost be, I don't want to say turned on by this part of you, but there is a part of you that it's important to recognize this as a gift, that you've, for whatever reason, you've stayed in a certain space that you shouldn't have stayed in, perhaps, but perhaps that is exactly what you needed to do, exactly where you needed to be. Perhaps being here was safer than being out on a cliff's edge, or perhaps this space is actually a gift for another reason that you don't know, or that you do know, and you've been looking at and staring at this whole time, but wishing it were different. So this is something that I think you would have to do a little bit of self-discovery on, and it feels like an interesting little light bulb moment might be on the in your near future. So take a moment to really think about that. If there is something that you've been really beating up on yourself about, that I just can't get out of this, I can't move past this, I can't get around this. But there is something divine about that, and there is something that is wonderful about that space, and that has made you, and this is really in your energy. It's not just a perception of someone else. So this is, something that's really made you a more, chewy version of yourself. That's not the right word, and it's not coming to me, but it will probably when I'm done with our reading. But I want you to lean into that a little bit and see how you feel about that. Okay, I want to continue what we're picking up through your energy. We have the Five of Wands, and this is some chaotic energy. There is something in your energy that is very enticing, alluring, attractive, spicy to you and to other people. But anything that is a turn on to you, that really resounds throughout. I mean, that really pulls other people to you. So you can really just focus on that there is something a little chaotic that you like, that turns you on, that is, like it's not a straight line. There's a little fighting that has to go on. There is, and I mean by fighting, I don't mean any kind of physical, fighting. I mean, a little, you have to work for it. You have to struggle for it. There might be, some misunderstanding somewhere, but there is something about that's okay for you to honor. And, it is okay for things to be like, oh, I wish that I didn't like the chaos, but also I honor that I do. I recognize the truth that I do. That there's a real gift and a real freedom to that, and owning and understanding. And then you can change whatever you want to change. You have that power all the time, but you also don't have to. You can also just own it. Like, I like a little bit of drama. I like a little bit of fiery drama that, leads to, makeup time. I like things to go wrong so that they can go very, very right. Okay, now we have the Four of Wands, and we're back in that fire energy. We're reading a lot of fire energy, which makes perfect sense, doesn't it, while we're doing this reading? And the Four of Wands is it's this beautiful little celebratory, togetherness. When you are with someone, you are really with them. And it is like you are running a race together, or like you are doing an event together, and I mean that sensually, physically being with them, but I also mean that when you're just in a relationship with them, there is something where there is a championing of each other. There is a victory together. There is a, in this together kind of feeling. And you're a wonderful partner because of that. And the people that you choose would also have to be great, wonderful partners in the same way. And I think that, if you've moved on from someone, then they really feel the absence of this without you, because this is something that is really wonderful, that there is recognition, being seen, a sense of I've got your back, a sense of togetherness, of camaraderie, of friendship too. And it's extremely enticing, alluring, attractive, seductive. Okay, looking right into your energy. Interesting, we have the Three of Pentacles. I love pulling this. This is okay, so we're getting into this, value and wealth. This is like an architectural card of planning, figuring out how to do it, and building this beautiful, incredible thing. And when we're getting into truly, we're getting into sensuality, and we're getting into your spicier side, which is a very important side in any relationship, or, it could be outside of a relationship too, but in a relationship, it's very important. And there is something in you that wants to discover, learn, decide, plan. And I think if you feel pulled, if you don't already, which you might very well already, it feels like you might, if you don't already if you haven't, picked up some books that are informative, watched some little docuseries, or watched some, taken some classes, or gone to that workshop, or whatever it is about, that physicality, that sensuality, then you may want to start investigating. You may want to start going and doing some little deep dives, letting yourself explore and learn, and let your mind sort of roam around in the playfulness of it. Okay, let's continue. Okay. Hi, my Queen of Wands. Well, you have this fire within you. You have this, you have this inner, this incineration, this combustible energy that is spicy, just spicy. And you don't have to really do anything in order to have that. That's just something you already have. You have this really, I'm trying to make sure my words are appropriate, but you have this really delicious quality about you that is enticing, all on its own, without having to, you don't have to worry about, anything else. The exploratory nature of this, of, investigating things, doesn't mean that you have to be something different. That's just for fun, because that's, part of your nature. But you already have it. You have the it quality. You have this, there's something you have to hold back. If you were just yourself, it's really, burning up. My brain is going so fast trying to make sure I'm saying things that are appropriate, but sultry, just really, really, I'm gonna let my stand for me there. Boy, and you also have this moving energy. It's just moving. And we have the Nine of Swords popping up, which again is kind of a interesting card to be pulling here, because your ruminations, the things that you worry about, the things that surround you, really, I'm asking about your gifts. That's really what I'm asking about your spicy, sultry, and they're not all gifts necessarily. There's some things here that, that are just in your energy and maybe need to be handled. And this might be something that you need to be handled, but this, it feels like there is something that causes you a lot of worry and a lot of mental anguish about your sensuality, about your physicality, about your steaminess in the bedroom. I hope that's okay. But there is something that really worries you, and it should not. Whatever that thing is actually something that is a gift, that you are caught up in the thoughts of that, and this could be something that you just get really panicked about. It could be a physical trait that you're worried about, your body in some way, or some aspect of yourself, or that something that you do might not be natural or normal, or you do have this freedom, you do have this you do have this innate quality within you, and you can trust that. Just trust that. Take all the limitations off and remove whatever thoughts need to be removed for you to have that freedom. Explore with that, because this is really, there's something there that is actually an absolute gift. And I don't know exactly what that is. I don't feel exactly what that is, but it is something that causes you anguish, that sort of, keeps your mind rolling around it. and probably keeps you from being fully expansive, feeling fully confident, or wanting to, really be in yourself without, having to do a whole bunch of hoop jumping. There's something to really embrace there. Okay, I want to turn to our pink card. So I do want to turn to our pink deck. And first of all, I would really like to come back to this, actually. I would like to come back to, I wanted to hit a couple of different things. But first of all, I'd like to come back to this, this mental anguish. And what do we need to know about that? What do we need to know about that? Now, we're already pulling a duplicate card. I love it when we pull duplicate cards. It just is so wonderful. So here we have, we're looking at the perceptions of how other people are seeing you, and you have this, this sense about you that is removed, that is not available to everyone, that you're not, you don't have just an open door. You don't have an open door policy. It's not, oh, hey, yeah, and I don't just mean this in a physical way. I mean this in a, really in a romantic way in general, that there's, especially when we get into feelings and emotions, that you're just not going to share in all of that with everyone. You're just not going to. And I feel like when we're getting into the worry aspect of whatever it is you've been, ruminating on, or that's been causing you anguish, perhaps in part that has made you move forward, but also perhaps it's kept out things that were not for you. It's helped you, if you feel like certain things don't feel like safe situations for your heart, for your mental space, for your physical space as well. But perhaps that has helped you to sort of shut that down and keep yourself moving away from that. But there is something to moving on from, moving forward from, but also moving on and moving forward from those thoughts, from that rumination, whatever that is. Okay, now I want to stay in this vein, and I kind of want to take a look at our Eight of Swords, and whatever we need to know about our Eight of Swords over here. And that's that feeling of sort of, maybe being imprisoned by something, and that, like you could have let yourself out of it, that kind of feeling. Oh boy, wow. All right, so these are definitely connected. Wow, I'm guessing you're probably starting to make connections right away. So that feeling of being imprisoned, and we're getting to swords on both of these, really comes down to a lot of thought space, which our swords do. They get into thought space, intelligence space. Now, both of these figures are very closed off to the world. They're not in that full space. They're not in that open, expansive space. But whatever got you here to the space where you felt like you were being held prisoner, where you felt like you weren't able to let yourself go free, and and that's now causing this mental limitation, this anguish that's going on. You also, if this was a romance before, a previous partner or something that hurt you, that sort of wrapped you up and kept you in place, not letting you go out and be free and wander, and kept you in your thoughts in this way, this is important to recognize that these are related things. And maybe you already know that. Maybe you know that, this hurt you in a way that made you feel like, oh, this is a truth now. Or this thing that I think about that worries me is a truth now. And it's really important to remember that your person, when we're talking about sensuality, we're talking about, all of the yummy, good, spicy things, which do have deeper levels to them, of course. When we're talking about your person, all people are not alike. And that sounds so obvious, I know. But sometimes I think we decide that something, it becomes a belief. It becomes a truth. Someone didn't love this thing about us. Somebody put us in this space and made you feel maybe inadequate in some way, or made you feel like you're being judged about something, or that something wasn't normal or right or natural, or that there was something wrong with the way that you were doing something. And if something is coming off of that and causing you some torture now, and maybe even panic or anxiety, it's really important to remember that not all people are like that. Your person is not going to be the same, have the same beliefs and truths as an old person that you were with. And if that person wasn't for you, then yeah, of course, they weren't for you. They didn't align with you. And that's painful and hurtful, but perhaps that's even a gift, because if you sort of take up some space for yourself, and you take up, your own back, that you like this thing about you. You like the way you do things. You like the way you hold yourself. You like the way you are in your body. You like this. It is very compelling to other people, but beyond other people, it's not about other people. You've got your back, and you are lovable because you are loving those things. And try, and I know it's so hard to do, because those very deep feelings, those are very deep things. And those can be very deep hurts and very deep worries and anxieties. I think it's also important to remember that nobody is perfect. Nobody, no human being is perfect. And there is, whatever strange comparison we do to other, us to other people, and like, we're all people. We're all just people. We're all just humans. We've got, scars. We've got things. We've got things from being alive. That's who we are. That's what we've got. Every single person. Okay. Now, I would like to ask what we need to know about your inner workings as we get into sensuality, physicality, spiciness, all of the things, getting into the bedroom, as we're getting into this, sort of idea of not just in the bedroom, though. This is everywhere. This is in life, and dealing with life this way, in this juicy, juicy way. What do we need to know? And I'm going to I want to take this a little bit higher. I want to take this up, angels or guides, whatever you ascribe to, higher power, the universe. And this could be your higher self as well. What do we need to know about what's going on with you right now? If there's anything we need to know, and that can even be blocks, things that are blocking you from living your fullest self in your spiciest way. I'm sorry for saying spicy so much. I feel like I've got a couple words I know are pretty safe, and I'm definitely going to stick to, I'm coming back around to those for sure. All right, we have the 9 of Pentacles. Okay, so we're getting guidance from a higher source, and we're asking what we need to know about. And I love pulling this. Look at this card. This card, I mean, I wish the gold sheen were on it a little bit, because that really lights it up that way. But this card is decadent. It is luxurious. It is beautiful. The pentacles get into things of this earth, and your body, your physicality, the way you move, the way you have a human body in this world is a thing of this earth. And this is gorgeous. So A, you are gorgeous and ripe and beautiful. But B, in this card, there is so much peace. It just happens. It's just there. It is ripe for the picking. There isn't a whole lot that you need to do. Now imagine if you can release yourself whenever you need to release yourself from, and just the binds are gone, and suddenly there's a transformation, and here you are. Wow. It's like that. There's not a whole lot that needs to be done. And I know that you value working hard. I love that. I think that's an excellent quality. I find that really attractive. But also don't mistake that you have to in order to be this, to possess this. You already possess this. There's nothing you have to do. The only thing you have to do is release yourself from any binds. Okay, I'm still reaching up and I'm still asking for more than what we know. So we're getting the 9 of Wands. We have that fire energy, which we've got a lot of, and this is that healing, this healing card where someone's been hurt and they're coming back to guard what's theirs, to, get back in the game, get back in the fight, be ready to stand guard and protect. So I think that's important, that you might be in a space right now where you are on your guard, where you're not necessarily free and easy. And this is a far cry from some of the more decadent, lovely, open, completely expansive spaces that we've seen. But this is a good place to be in. This deciding to get back in, this deciding to stand up. Wounds heal. This wound will heal. And there will be a calmness that comes eventually, that just by standing back up with some time, with some, reassurances, okay, no one's coming to take this castle. I can protect this. I know I can. And I know that this is safe here. And I also know that I can inhabit this space as a freer version than this version. Now, the other interesting thing is that this is the 9 of Wands and this is the 10 of Wands. So this is our card of completion. So I do think that you are exuding something more confident to the outside world, which I do think is great. I want you to step into that energy and be in that energy of, I'm in a more confident space than maybe where you really are. And that's good. Be honest with yourself, but, do take up the space that you need to take up in order to inhabit what you want to inhabit. That sounded like a very redundant thing to say, I think. But you know what I mean. Okay, I'm still going up. And I have the Queen of Swords. Hi, my Queen of Swords. Use your deep knowing of truth. Use your deep, wise self. Your smart, sharp, cutting self. To sit into a seat of knowing for yourself. Be fully and completely honest with yourself, if you can. It is so hard, I know, because sometimes we don't even know what truths we're hiding from ourselves. But if you give yourself permission to be completely honest with yourself, what is causing you anxiety? Is that a truth? Is that not a truth? Did this person make you believe that? Did they not make you believe that? Did you want to believe that because that was an insecurity you had from something else at another time? Whatever it might be, things that, society says one thing, but the truth is actually something else. This person is saying this one thing, but I can feel their truth is something else. I want you to get really, really truthful with you. You have this deep inner knowing. This, that is real. That is there. And you don't have to have a whole bunch of qualifications for something for it to ring true for you. If you feel you understand and know, trust that. You do. You are so smart. You are so wise. You're really cutting around things. And that is not just a factual world thing where this equals that. There are nuances to everything. And you are reading those. Trust those. Own those as your own. Okay, now I want to ask I would like to ask the cards for 2 action items that you can take in order to step into and embrace the highest vibration, sensual, yummy, everything, yum version of you. This is what happens when when maybe words are a little dangerous. Okay, here we go. We have the Two of Wands and we have the Ten of Cups. First of all, I see that I do want you to do some research. I want you to do that Three of Pentacles where you research things. And this can really get into anything because knowledge is power. Knowing that there are so many different people with so many different things going on. It is delicious and curious and interesting, but also it's going to be important for you. I want you to adventure out into the knowledge field where you're just exploring your curiosity about different things and different people and the way people embrace their sensuality and their seductiveness and how, oh, that person has this quality that I'm just so drawn to and attracted to. What is that? Just be curious, look, observe, notice. Also, I want you to do that. I want you to look, observe, and notice, especially with other people that so if there is something that, and this can get hard if it's something that's, very, behind closed doors, kind of sensual in that way, because that information is not necessarily available for you to see from normal everyday people. But I would like you to see if you can really look for the beauty in whatever might cause you worry or panic or anxiety, or I want you to really look for like, oh wow, okay, so this person also, who knows? There are millions of things that people have little buttons for. But if you look for those things in other people, like, oh, but she really embraces this thing about herself and she loves it and she owns it. And this is, I love that. That's such an attractive energy. I find myself drawn to her with that quality. I find that really, an incredible attractive trait. That kind of thing. Looking for the beauty in everything, in the differences, and just being curious. Now, we also have the Ten of Cups. We have another card of completion. And this gets into our cup space, our heart space, our emotional space. And boy, is this a different feeling than the feeling that, you're sort of giving off that is very attractive. People find it very seductive and pulling in. It is that fishing line of, whoa, this person is a little closed for business. And I'm really curious about them and they're not super available. But there is, I do want you to practice or try what it feels like to be in the energy that you want. And I almost want to say to be in the height, the pinnacle of, to practice that feeling of just being your most, sensual self, which might mean reading up on aphrodisiac foods, or it might mean, oh, I want to cook like, Juliette Binoche does in Chocolat. Or I want to, and she didn't really cook, I guess she just made chocolate, but I haven't seen that movie in a very, very long time. But that kind of daily sensuality where it's a practice out of the bedroom, and you can practice these anywhere you want to, but I want you to have this practice of just being this fully involved, fully invested, fully open to experiencing the overflow of the gifts that come in with this, of the gifts that come in with really being in the world, being in the moment, just being so incredibly present, and looking for those everywhere and exploring that in different ways, really, and I do really mean outside of the bedroom, like exploring that in different ways in the kitchen, in your movement classes or your exercise, in the way that you choose your reading material, in the way that you practice meditation, in the way that you interact with the women in your life, the men in your life, in the way that you say thank you to someone, all of those things. And I do want you to, sort of look for little beacons around you where you're like, that person has this tantalizing quality that I also recognize. I love it so much because I recognize it in myself. I just don't let it out. I just don't open it up. And I want you to open it up and let it rain and shower on you. Oh boy, I think I'm going very long here. So I am going to tidy us up now. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at your animal and angel card. So we have the cat for you. Be relaxed and independent. Cats are so feminine. Cats are so, boy, there is something about them that is very, spicy kind of. They're kind of a spicy animal. I love this, that there's something just so confident, relaxed, and independent, able to choose for themselves, be choosy. They don't mind shutting people down either. Okay, and I also wrote out a card for you, and your card is words. And I want you to dip into your most sassy, most sensual, most provocative, most seductive, most alluring self. And I want you to use your words for it. And this could be journaling. This could be just the way that you talk to other people. This could be the way you talk to yourself. This could also be the way you talk to a lover. This could also be the words that you do use in the bedroom. This could be the way, any way that you want to use them. But I want words to be your focus for this. And just let yourself, whatever that means for you. And you have a lovely imagination, so use that any way you like. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's collect that up and bring it all together. I would love some comments. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. It means the world to me and my team. And my goodness. And it will help us to keep doing more content like this and let us know that you love it. Let's drop a cat below, please. We could drop a million things, but our little shining cat face is making it easy for us to make a decision. So let's drop a cat below. I would love some comments. I would love to hear what you think. And I read all the comments. I don't always comment on all the comments, but I do read them all. And I'm sending you so much love. I'm sending you so much light until I see your precious self again. Mwah. Mia. Welcome in, land my card 3. Here we are. I'm so excited to do this reading with you. This is a very juicy, very steamy, very spicy reading. We're taking a look at what people find arousing about you. What makes you seductive? And I'm going to do this completely with words that are YouTube appropriate. So bear in mind, there may be some workarounds here. But we're going to do it, and there'll probably be some funny moments because of that. And let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to pull some cards from our beautiful gold deck, and I want you to let yourself just slide right into your own energy, land in your body, let your shoulders relax, let yourself feel free, open and easy. You take what you want, you leave what you don't, your intuition is engaged. You're just open. You're open and expansive, open to things that can help you, that can better you, that can lift you up. Okay, let's go. All right, so we're getting started. We have the 10 of Wands. We have the 6 of Pentacles. We have the Knight of Wands. I love these already. We have the 5 of Wands, which has popped up so far in our 2 other readings. We have the King of Wands, and we have the Hanged Man. I love this. We're getting a lot of good clarity and answers already. Starting off with the 10 of Wands. The 10 of Wands is a card of completion. This is a fire card. Our wands do get into fire energy. Hello, fire energy. Hello, fire energy. Hello, fire. And this simmering burn, this explosiveness, it is smoldering. It is hot. And there is something extremely physically attractive about you, but also just the energy that you bring in. It is like you are just pushing energy around you, that your energy is just moving everyone else. Now, this is a card of completion. This is a card of success. You have just, the way that you move in the world, the way that you work hard, the way that you sweat through things, the way that you know you can do things, the way you know how to move your energy, the way you know how to push yourself forward and lean into passion and drive and success and assertiveness and all of that. Those dominant pieces of you are extremely seductive and extremely attractive. It is, I also find those qualities very attractive. I think it's just, when someone is willing to work hard for something and they know that they can bring it home, and maybe sometimes they don't even know, they can't even see the destination completely, but they're still moving that energy forward. It's extremely attractive. We have the Six of Pentacles, so there's a generosity in you, and there is a giving and receiving here. Now, when we talk about things that are a little more sultry, if you will, when we're talking about perhaps stepping into the bedroom, that is an incredible thing to bring in as a lover, that you can give and you can receive, that there's this beautiful ebb and flow of being with the person that you're with, letting yourself really be in the moment and ride the waves, of being able to be on both ends of the spectrum, and being able to accept with open hands, to also be able to give and have that be something that you actually really enjoy. Now, when we're just moving into, because I really believe like seduction, that sensuality in life and in the world, that is not just made for the bedroom. That is something that is all over life. You meet people all the time that you'll be like, wow, that person has this potent, spicy energy just in the world. And this is also what I'm talking about. So I'm also talking about that energy that you're bringing in that is just like, oh my goodness, this is a cool glass of water that I need to drink from, because wow, that person, that energy, I am just captivated and magnetized in this very sensual way. We also have the Knight of Wands here. And I feel like you have a tendency, now we also have the King of Wands here. So I would like to tap both of those really as well, because this, again, we're getting into that fire energy, that the partners that you have, the romantic partners, the people that you are entertaining as perhaps being a future soulmate or perhaps being a future partner or somebody that you feel extremely attracted to, you make those people, as well as additional people beyond that, but you make those people and those men specifically, or that masculine energy, feel like it is this masculine energy, that it is fired up, that it is moving forward. In our case of the Knight of Wands, it is a much faster moving energy. People are probably, they feel very desperate to be with you, that there's like a desperation behind it. It's antsy, it's anxious, it wants to move. It is lit up and it really wants to move forward. So you probably have to hold your own a lot with that kind of energy coming towards you, unless it's what you want, and then you can lean into it and, let that fire burn. But because the energy is so intense coming towards you, you generate this intensity in others, and it's just the feeling inside of them is very captivating, very pulling in, very alluring, that they've sort of become almost this this more passionate version of themselves, this more intense version of themselves, this more masculine energy version of themselves. And sometimes they probably feel like throwing caution to the wind, like, hey, whatever is on the other side of this, I don't really care. I really feel like I just need this. I need this person. I need this person in my presence right now. We'll go in order. I was going to jump right into our King of Wands, because we're really tapping that energy already, but let's stick with our Five of Wands, because we're still in that fire energy. And there is something in this card, there's something combative. It can be playful combative. It can be that you just hold your own. Like, you bring something in with you that is, it's strong. You're not afraid, and you're not afraid to sort of tap back. You're not afraid to stand up to other people. You're not afraid to be in the midst of, I want to say the chaos, but really just that fire. You're not afraid to be in the middle of it all. And you're not afraid of being a contender, of really letting yourself just, I can hold my own. I know what I'm capable of. I know what the makeup of what I bring in is. Now remember, all of these cards that I'm reading right now, these are perception cards. These are the energy of the way people are perceiving you, which I do think is very important energy to know about, because the way other people see us is often telling in the way that we view ourselves. But often there is a disparity between the way other people see us and the way we see ourselves. So I do also want to, even if you don't feel this, even if you don't feel, it's good to know that this is what other people are feeling from you. And if things don't feel right, or if it's not hitting your intuition, you let it roll off you. But we're also going to read what is in your energy, what is spicy in your energy. So what is genuinely there. Now we also have that King of Wands, and boy, I love our King of Wands. I love the Wands in general. I really do. And I love our King of Wands. This is a much more solidly placed person. This is a much more solidly placed feeling than this fast moving energy rushing forward with our Knight of Wands. He is really in his throne of power. And once again, you do shift these, and I'm really not even just talking about one person. I'm really talking about the lovers, the people you're considering to be a lover, that you're romantically inclined toward, or you're just attracted toward, and also sort of people beyond that as well. But you really shift them into a feeling like, oh, I am powerful, and I do have this intense masculinity within me, and I do have this assertiveness and this ability to really see things home, and I just feel so capable when they're in your presence. There's something that, again, lights them up: physical attraction, energetic attraction, just real, incinerating attraction, combustible attraction. That's just, like here in the now. But there's also just something that makes people want to jump over any obstacle that might come. There is no obstacle. No, there's nothing that could get in the way of this. And there's this dominant quality that sort of settles into this feeling with them. Now we also have the Hanged Man, and I am feeling this very much as something people read within you, that you have this ability to hold back, to see things the way that you see them, that you don't have to see things the way everybody else does. You don't feel the need to do that. You're in your own space, you've got your own vision, and that feels good to you, and you're there for it. And it is extremely attractive because so many people don't have that, and it can be very scary for a lot of people, but you seem to just own it. And it also, when it comes to physicality and attraction and meeting people, and there is something about you that is pulled away from that desperation. There's something that is pulled away from that. You are okay. You're autonomous in a lot of ways. You can hold your own. You can see things the way you see them, and you can participate when and if you want to participate, but you don't feel the need to do that. You don't have to chase it. You feel very comfortable in that space. You're also guided by your intuition. You're guided by a force that other people don't recognize as a force of authority because they're not listening to their intuition. So, where other more factual things might come into play outside of your perspective and your scope, people feel this enigmatic quality about you, this unknown quality about you, of you following and listening to your intuition. Oh, I love this. Okay, now I want to switch right over to our pink deck, if you don't mind. I'm going to switch right over to our pink deck, and I would like to ask our pink deck about that physical energy. It's not just physical, but that, that combustible energy within you, the sultry energy within you, the sassy, spicy energy that is within you, and what that is, what we need to know about that. what we're reading in your energy field there, what you're really bringing to the table, what you may want to lean into more, what you may want to recognize more, what maybe is important to know for any kind of positive change or evolution. Right away, we have a reversed card. We have the Six of Cups reversed. And this is a very nostalgic card, and our cups get into feelings and emotions. So there is something in your energy and in that, and I'm just going to leave that because you know what I'm talking about, in that energy that is calling back to something from your past, but it does seem to perhaps be holding you up. That perhaps you're not embodying your fullest potential for feeling the most extravagant in your body, or the freest that you could be, or just feeling very satisfied in that very spicy way, because there is something from the past that is sort of, just getting in there and disrupting. It's that sort of door stopper. It's although that keeps the door open, which is, I guess not a good illustration, but when somebody sticks a stick into a bicycle wheel as it's moving, that kind of feeling, it stops you. It keeps you from reaching your fullest potential in this capacity. Now this feels like this could come back to a past love. But this is something with a lot of feeling and emotion, is very likely to come from, childhood, social education that you were, expected to live up to something, perhaps from your parents, perhaps from society, perhaps from someone you loved, perhaps from a past lover. But there's something that holds a lot of heart space for you that you are contending with when we're talking about leaning into your deepest, fullest, energetic self in this particular capacity, this spicy capacity, this sultry, seductive capacity. Okay, and we have the Lovers. Oh, I love pulling this card. I feel like I haven't pulled this card in a little while, and I'm happy to see its beautiful face right now. Now, this is very vulnerable and very known. And this tells me a lot about, I feel like this is telling me that you feel your most seductive, you feel your most sultry, you're able to be your most powerful self in that way, that combustible way, when you truly are known to someone and someone is truly known to you. That things, I suppose they could dry up, but for some people, sometimes, or perhaps in past relationships, but I really feel in soulmateship with you, things just get better, and that aspect of your life and that seducing and enjoying life is very much rewarded by being equals, by being made for each other, by being known to each other, completely vulnerable to each other, completely naked to each other, perhaps literally and figuratively. And that is very interesting. And also, everyone is so different. I feel like I have met so many different people who feel different ways in different aspects of, when I barely know someone, this is how I feel my most seductive. When I am completely known to someone and they're my person forever, this is when I feel my most seductive. And I feel like that is coming through for you, which is beautiful. And I think that really tells us that, when we're talking about really long-term soulmateship and futureship, that it really can just keep getting better for you and can just keep building on top of itself. Yes. Okay. I'm staying in your energy. So it does seem also like there's a part of you that's very much saying no right now. Sometimes I love this royal no. I feel like this also gets into the Hanged Man, where people perceive you as, okay, you're not chasing it. You're not, like you're able to be autonomous. You're able to say no. There is a part of you that's sort of shutting it out on purpose. Now, there's a possibility that you, when I say this, you are going to, be like, I'm not saying no on purpose. And I do often find that sometimes people really don't realize when they're putting up a wall that's like, no, I'm not interested in this. Like, thanks, but no thanks. And I do think this is really getting into heart space. And, maybe even more than we're talking about just like physical space of like, being, physically with someone, if you know what I mean. This is really getting more into, really letting somebody in and being open to what it can be and being open to the feelings and emotions that can come with it. So there does seem like a part of you that's a little shut down to that right now. And that can be tricky. I mean, you have some intense energy coming at you. And this is an intense, especially, this Knight of Wands. I mean, like, having that energy coming towards you, you must just want to put up roadblocks all the time. Okay, I've been here before, and I need to protect my energy, I need to protect my space, my physical space, my emotional space that's attached to that. No matter how you feel about that, there is something that's a little bit a little bit shut down, and that probably, as we're asking about that sultry, seductive space, that probably translates to how you're feeling in your body. But I would also, and not just in your body, but in that seductive and sultry way in your body, feeling sort of really sensual about life. And I would encourage you to see if, one person that I felt really, Isabel Allende, who, wonderful, beautiful, I think Chilean writer, but she just has this sensual take on life. And it really struck me because it's, she's not in a bedroom. She is not creating something lewd or explicit. She is just in her life this way. And it's really magnificent and a great lesson that you don't have to separate these things out, that you can, sort of still be saying no to most people, but still be very open to being in your free, open, expansive, physical, sensual, spicy self. Okay, continuing on. All right, I would like to just know one more thing about what's going on in your energy that way, and then I want to kind of change some of the questioning here. And we have the sun. So even if part of that is shutting things down, part of you is, putting up that roadblock and saying no, stop sign. There is also this part of you that is just really enjoying this space. It's really joyful. There's something really light. And there's something really, and I think this gets into when you are interacting as well with lovers, with potential soulmates, with your soulmate, with, when you're really getting into that space as well. There's something so joyful about this space, so positive, so warm, so that is so enticing and refreshing because it's, again, it doesn't have to be one thing. The world might tell us that, oh, this is what sultry looks like. Oh, this is what sensual looks like. Oh, this is what the game is supposed to look like. And you're like, nah, it can be whatever I want it to be. And this is what I want it to be. And how absolutely glorious is that? There can be laughter here. There can be funny things here, and it can still be just as hot and just as explosive and just as attractive. Every single word that I'm saying, you can tell I'm trying to make sure that I'm keeping it clean. But I think I'm doing a great job, so I'm gonna continue on. Let's keep going. So I would like to know, honestly, I'd really like to ask about, I would just really like to ask about if there's something we need to know as like a little piece of advice for you for the next near future. I would say the next 4 weeks, the next month. It feels like there's something that might be important that we need to know. And we're getting the Five of Swords. So I would say, first of all, what comes to me is that there might be somebody you want to look out for, someone that is perhaps, they might be enticing and they might be really attractive because, sort of brute force, and I don't really mean that in a bad way. I just mean this kind of brutish quality can be very attractive. It can be very masculine. It can be, delicious. But there is something that I would think twice about if you feel so inclined, if you feel that intuition kick in with you as well, just to turn your attention to it, because I do feel like there could be some interaction with this person coming in that could leave you feeling like something's been sort of taken from you, or feeling a little bit hurt, or feeling like, oh, now I need to heal from something and, get myself back to 100. And this person might elicit a lot of anger from you in the end. So I would just sort of be on the lookout for that. Now, I would like to ask another piece of advice, because I do feel like there's something important for you. And this feels sort of on the periphery, but a little bit on the edge of that, which, we asked about the next 4 weeks to a month. So we're looking just a little beyond that. And the Hierophant is coming in. So I do feel like some really important wisdom is coming your way. There's something really important for you, a discovery that you will go in search of. This is something that sort of comes to you as you're searching for something. So this could be through another person, through a wise person, through a teacher, through a spiritual teacher, but there's something important for you to know about you and about this next level for you and where you're going and your power in the world. There's something very femininely powerful about you that is to be discovered, and that is coming up here. And when the cards pop up, that means it's important. So even if something feels like it's not as important, or maybe something that you don't want to hear as much, I would jot it down. Just take a moment and reflect. Is there a possibility of something like this? Is there just opening things up, not sweeping things off as unimportant, basically. Okay, and I'm keeping that question open because I feel like we're getting so much good information. I love pulling duplicate cards. We are pulling a duplicate card. We are in the 10 of Wands. And this is telling me that other people's perception of you, that you work hard, you do sweat, you do bring it home, you are so capable. Even if you don't completely know where that destination is, A, you're going to get there. B, you still move forward. And you're going to do it. Even if sometimes you doubt it, or sometimes you're tired, or you're fatigued, or you need a break, you still keep moving forward. And that attraction that everybody else feels towards you, that seduction that comes from that energy that pours off of you, that is truly something within you. You really are truly in that space. You do work hard. Even if you downplay it to yourself, even if you don't want to puff yourself up, even if you don't want to say it, no matter what, you are in a very powerful space. And it is fiery, and it is combustible, and it is extremely attractive, but much beyond that, it is powerful, and it is good for you, and it's a good space to be in, and you should appreciate that about yourself. Let yourself have a moment of gratitude for yourself. Oh, I'm sorry, we're getting so much good information here, so I do want to pull one more card as a little guidance coming up for you, and this is a card of rest. And I do find it interesting. We're in the 4 of Swords. That's right. Within our 5 of Swords, which is that person we're on the lookout for, who might not have your best interest at heart, who might be a little cruel, who might do something mean that makes you feel like you've maybe been taken advantage of. And our 4 of Swords comes in, and So really what I would say is, what I'm feeling is, when you feel the presence of that coming in, that is a time to take a break and to take a rest. And you can do it any way that you want to. You can tell yourself anything you need to tell yourself in order to take a little break. But it is time to take a little break, to rest and recover, to rejuvenate, to come back to your full power, to recharge, to come back to 100%. There's some time needed to just come back to you and come back to peace and come back to a harmonious space. Okay, now, I would like to ask about your person, your soulmate, this could be your future person, somebody who is coming in. This could be somebody you know right now. This could be somebody from the past who is meant to be coming back around as a soulmate. But in that landing, what is so sultry and seductive about you in that space? What do they feel captivated by? What are they pulled in by? What do they love the most? Now, also, it is very important to me that you don't hold back on any piece of yourself just because someone else finds that so attractive. You being you is always going to be the most attractive vibration, energy, experience that your person is going to have. So that is always important to say and to know. Okay, and I'm going to close my eyes for a moment just so Okay. We're starting with the King of Cups. Well, this is interesting. So we're asking really about like seduction and this spicy sultriness, but really our King of Cups comes in to tell us that the thing that is the biggest turn on, the thing that is the most like fire inducing, is that you make him feel things he's never felt before. You make him feel emotions he didn't know he was capable of. There is something that feels limitless, and something that feels so solid, so divinely masculine, still in this incredibly masculine energy, but something that really hits deep into the feelings and the emotions. Love, an incredible, overwhelming amount of love and understanding, that he feels like he understands you more than he understands anybody else. Feels like he can read you and your energy in a way that he's never been able to do with anyone else before. That is a very wonderful answer. I really enjoy that is the card that we just pulled for you. Yes. We also are pulling the Page of Swords. So interestingly, there's also something very youthful about this space. There's this kind of, there's this young quality. The Page of Swords is a youthful messenger card. Our swords get into intelligence space. Really getting into the truth, getting into this, sort of cutting intelligence. This can come with new ideas and new things and inspirations. But there is something very youthful here. I'm feeling very inspired. And this could be, trying new things, or just feeling like they're doing things with you that perhaps they've done before, but that it feels like it's so new. It feels like it's the first time. It feels like this incredible discovery because of who you are and how unique you are and how much there is to discover about you. I love that answer too. There's a reason this person is your person. I'm really into it. Okay, let's pull one more card. I want to pull one more card in this question, with this person in mind. And we have Justice reversed. And I feel very much that this is a very interesting pull, but it just feels like there is no when you get into your spiciest self with your person, when you two are alone together and you're having your special alone time, there is something, and it's not even just that time. It's just when you feel the most absolutely juicy pulled to each other, which, might be actually getting worked on or not. Oh my goodness, my words. Oh my goodness. Okay. When we're in that space and we're talking about that, there is something that it doesn't have to, nobody's like, well, this isn't fair, that's not fair, there's no like tallying up of points. No one there is something extremely just extremely giving about both of you, so you don't have to do that. You both want to just be this incredible giver. And you're both also so excited about what you're receiving. There's also something that's just so beyond baggage. And I mean that more about, fights between the two of you perhaps even, or misunderstandings between the two of you even, but also just other baggage that you might be bringing in. There is something very removed from that. And it becomes this kind of almost safe space. It becomes this, like this playground where really you can let go of everything else and you can just be with each other. And in this space where you're just in the moment, experiencing what you're experiencing together, noticing things about each other, discovering things about each other. And that is very beautiful. Okay. I do want to pull one more card to keep us, I want to pull one more card to keep us even, because that's the way I feel right now. So I would like to pull one more card, and I'd like to ask no questions. I would just like to pull a card. That's it. No questions. Something right here. Hi, my Nine of Pentacles. And this tells me that, okay, first of all, I would like you to take in this card. The Pentacles do get into things of this earth, which can be the physical body. This can be the clothes you put on your body. This can be the things you own, the space and the way you set it up. How feng shui are you putting your, whatever it is, the beauty, the flowers, the everything. So this really does get into the senses, the sensuality, of being in a physical body on earth. There is something so decadent about this card. It's so lovely, but also peaceful. It's not striving, it just is. What I would really love for you, and this is going to be a little piece of homework, is to let yourself be in this lavish space where you are amazed by your body. This could be your bare body, if you so choose. This can be your clothed body. This can be your sensual body. This can be your whatever, in any way that you want, as that feels good to you. And then you can also work your way up too, if you feel brave and daring. But I would like for you to just really well and truly appreciate the incredible beauty, luxury, the decadence of who you are. Just as a physical human in this world, coming together as you. And it's important that we're not just making it, but it is the things about you, as if you were falling in love with yourself for the first time. Oh my goodness, the way that you're hip. Oh my goodness, I love this about you. Like you can, whatever you need to do, I want you to just take it in and drink yourself in. I would also love for you to really take a hard look at your surroundings, at your home environment, at your bedroom, your sleep clothes, your, the way that you're in your life, the things you spend the most time with especially. And things come to mind are your sheets and your bedding and your dishes, the things that you just use all the time, the way your furniture is set up, all of these things. And I would really like you to spend a little time clearing things out, bringing new things in, letting yourself be in a state of luxury where you feel like things don't have to be expensive to make them luxurious. They can just feel good on your skin. They can be fresh and new to you. They can be something that you didn't appreciate the way that you now are looking at it and can appreciate it. Any which way. It can be organized. That can be decadent. But I want you to spend some time in that space, getting to that feeling, being in your everyday life in that way. Ooh, I love this. Okay, here we go. So we're going to pull, we're going to turn over our anchor card, which is an animal and angel card. And our animal energy is dog. Be disciplined in your home and community life. And I love this energy coming in. And I don't necessarily feel like this is puppy dog energy that's, running around super fast, but I feel like it's a loyal energy. It is a strong energy. And whatever dog you resonate with, that's the energy. Whatever dog you immediately think of, like, I own that kind of energy. That's where I'm landing right now. To really fully embrace that, that side of you, that animal side of you. And we have one written thing as well. So body, I love that, especially as we pulled the 9 of Pentacles and we were talking about your homework. Leaning into really focusing on your body, your physical sensations, how you are physically in this world, how you hold yourself physically in this world, what feels spicy to you, but also just how you hold yourself in the world, what feels spicy to you in that, embracing your hips, and I don't know, I'm coming back to hips again, embracing something about yourself that and holding it with a certain kind of presence. I just want you to let yourself focus and tune in, tap into your body, getting some body work in. Oh my, yes. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. It means the world to me and my team, and it lets us know to do more beautiful work like this. I love this reading. This was really fun for me. I hope this was really fun for you. I would love to hear some comments. I know this might be particularly something that you don't feel like commenting on. But if you do, I would love to hear it. Pop a dog below. Pop a dog below as our emoji. And my goodness, I'm sending you so much love, and I'm sending you so much light, and I'm sending you all of this. Yes. Until I see your precious self again. Mwah. Mia. Hi. Welcome in my card 4. Land and arrive. Thank you for being here with me. I'm so excited for this reading. What people find arousing about you. What makes you seductive. This is a spicy, sultry reading. Very juicy. But it will be completely YouTube appropriate. So I will say things appropriately, which will make for perhaps a few funny moments. I'm going to do my best to not stumble over my words and say things clearly and not have to think about things too much in order to make them feel appropriate. Okay, so we're going to start over here in the gold deck. Now, I would like you to release your shoulders. I would like you to relax yourself and drop into your body and drop into your essence, your energy. Drop into yourself. Just let that open up. Now, these first cards that we're drawing, these are perception cards. They're cards that tell us what your energy is being perceived as. So we're taking a look at the way other people are perceiving you. So that means that you may or may not feel that these are ringing for you. You might be like, well, that's not really the way I feel at all. That's just the way that I'm being picked up in the world. That's just the way that I'm being clocked. And I do think that this information is valuable and important because a huge part of our self-perception is taken from the way other people perceive us. So I do think it's important to know the way that other people perceive us. But we also are definitely going to be taking a look in your energy, your essence for this sultry, sultry vibe of what is going on in your energy in that way. And we are also going to, there's a big, somebody's got a big car out there showing off that big engine. Everything feels a little sassy. Even that felt a little sassy. Let's go ahead. We're also going to take a look into anything you might need to know to up level this energy, or if there's anything off in your energy that needs a little tweaking just to feel like your most wonderful, sensuous self. Okay, let's see what we have. We have the Hierophant. We have the Five of Wands. The Five of Wands has popped up in every single reading now, which makes sense. This is, it's a fiery card. And we have the High Priestess, which also makes sense next to our Hierophant. That's very interesting. Let's go ahead and take a look at our other side. We're also pulling the Three of Cups, the Nine of Wands, and we're pulling the Lovers reversed. Let's get started. Okay. All right, I'm getting a lot of information already. So first of all, with the Hierophant coming up, I am feeling like there's a sense in your aura and in your energy and the way that you present yourself. Now, this can be presenting yourself to the world at large. This can also be the way that you're being picked up by lovers, by romantic counterparts, by soulmates, by people that you might be, really attracted to, or who are really attracted to you. But this can be beyond that. Even though we're talking about seduction, we're talking about allure, we're talking about that spice, we're talking about that sensuousness, we're talking about that, that heat dripping kind of feel, that can extend beyond just what is, thought of in bedroom terms, if you will. I do hope that I am saying things that are appropriate. I'm going with it regardless. So here we are. Now the Hierophant comes off as this very wise, you have a sense that you know what you're doing. And it's not just that you know what you are doing in those sorts of steamy situations. It's that you have a sense of that you know who you are in your body, that you're this incredibly wise, you just understand what's going on within you, that you have a real presence and knowledge, and there is something a little elevated about you that is a little hard to reach for other people, that it's a little hard to completely understand. There's something definitely mysterious coming off about you. I'm picking that up from the High Priestess as well. But with the Hierophant here, that really gets into that wisdom, that wise sort of quality, that you have this understanding, that you're so knowledgeable, that there's just this you-ness, and that you embody it, and you feel confident in that. And that's really displayed in this feeling of like, you understand yourself in a way that translates to everything seduction. Whether that's true or not. So remember, I'm talking about perception here. So whether that's true or not, there's also something very hot about you, very spicy. This is a fiery card, or wands always are. This is a little like chaos, combative. I really want to tell you what this card makes me think of, but I don't think that is YouTube appropriate, so I'm not going to. But that kind of tumultuous energy of like, oh my goodness, this is so fired up. We can't, we're sort of almost fighting to make it happen kind of feeling. This gets into physical attraction. People are very physically attracted to you. There's an incredibly hot, heated attraction to your energy. And there's also perhaps something a little playfully combative about you, where there is some back and forth with potential lovers, people you're attracted to, that is like playfully, playfully battling things out a little bit in a very seductive way. There also might be a piece of you that translates as, someone who, when something might be wrong between your energy, that the makeup portion, that there's this 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 journey that happens within any kind of fight or altercation or things not going right. That's very hot and very steamy and very seductive. Okay, and I would say that probably really gets into people who know you better. That gets into people who are your lover, who are your counterpart, who are your soulmate. And then, there's perhaps a lot of, makeup time where you are coming out of a fight or coming out of an altercation and things get sweaty afterwards and really good sweaty. Okay, so now we have the High Priestess. And the High Priestess it does read very mysterious, that people are reading you very mysteriously. There's something that is very unknown about you. There's something very wise. The High Priestess is so wise. So there really is just wisdom dripping off of you. This feeling of knowledge, self-knowledge, knowledge of the world, just this presence of a mature energy, that you're a mature mind, that you have an understanding, that you have a higher understanding than most of the people who are perceiving you, that feels like you're in an elevated space. She is in this sort of elevated space, and that you're really taking everything in. You're not just taking in what you want to see. You're not just seeing things through rose-colored glasses. You're not just seeing things in one direction, the light color or the dark color. And you also see the benefit of all of it. So you're really seeing how there is so much gray area. There's good in all of the things. There's good in oh wow. This reading particularly really makes me want to say some more perhaps explicit things. I'm not going to, of course, but right now it's sort of making me want to. There is an understanding of the good in the different temperatures of emotion, of feeling, of physicality, of the way that you're interacting with someone, from all the way from flirtations all the way up to someone who you are, like actively in something with, that there's this sort of spiciness about you. Oh, that's our same big motor driving by. I always say outside sounds magnify the message. So this might be something that you're really good at, and not just really good at, but it's just something that is part of your nature. You understand that there's multi-layers to all of these interactions. There's multi-layers to things, and you like playing with it and experimenting with it, maybe. I hope that was clear. I'm not sure that I was completely clear on what was coming into my mind, but because I am talking about your energy, if that's something that hits with you, you probably know what I'm talking about. Now, we have the Three of Cups here, and the Three of Cups gets into this. This does get into feelings and emotions. So there is something emotionally about you, joyfully about you, that's really just fun. It's fun, it's enjoyable, it's engaging, it's lighthearted, it's not taking things too seriously, it's laughing, it's just this playfulness, this flirtation with life, flirtation with the person in front of you, flirtation with just testing things out, playing with it, laughing, and things, letting things be really joyful and fun, and really leaning into that feeling of let's play, let's see what happens when we play with things a different way. Now, we also do have the Nine of Wands, so I do think that, and I always like to say this because I do think that there is something that has been hurt about you that is getting back into things, and that is enticing to other people. However, just because it is enticing to other people, it is seductive, it is alluring, it is something they want to protect or take care of you, or they feel it, maybe even that you're in a better position for them to be able to, walk into your space and into your presence and see if there's a potential for them. Even though they might be really attracted by that and you can feel that, I don't necessarily want that to encourage you to stay in that space, because positive reinforcement, of course, that we're getting from the outside world, that, oh, you see this piece of me that's a little broken and that's attractive to these people that are coming in, maybe I'll stay in more of a broken space because that attraction feels nice. But I don't want you to do that. That's not, always your most juicy bite into the apple, bite into the peach self is always going to be in your incredible frequency, period. So, and that is as your best self. And that is as, especially for the right person, the person that you want to be there is going to be the one who's really attracted by your amazing vibration and your amazing energy. But there is something that is pulling people in that way. Now, we also have the Lovers reversed, which I find very interesting. And I would like to take a look into your energy. So I would like to pop over to our pink card next, because this makes me feel like there is a part of you that is perhaps giving off the impression that you are not interested in something big. You are not interested in something serious. That, yeah, it is playful, and you're not taking things too seriously, and you're not taking this person too seriously, and you don't think it's going to end up being the thing. And so there's a sense of almost non-commitment with the world at large, which can be great, because of course there is a non-commitment with the world at large. You are not going to be looking all of these are not going to be your person. All of this is not going to be forever. All of this is, that's very transient out there. And there's you want the solid thing, the thing, not all of the things. But that perception is coming off, which may or may not be playing for you the right way if you were talking about forever, if you were talking about, soulmateship, or really being in a relationship or being committed. But that doesn't mean it can't lead to commitment, but also that's sort of, reading off that way. Now, I do want to flip over to our pink deck, because I want to take a look inside your energy. And I would just like to see where you're at. I want to see where you're at with your sultriness, with your most alluring, seductive self, that energy. What do we need to know about that energy and that part of your life, that part of your being, your sensualness, your seductiveness? What do we need to know about what's going on there for you energetically? Okay, we're starting off with the Eight of Pentacles. This is actually a really interesting card to pull here, because it feels very different from the way you're being picked up. But it's not just the way you're being picked up. It just feels it feels logical in a way, that there's sort of a logical progress behind all this wisdom you've accumulated, behind this sort of wise presence that you bring in, the fun that you bring in, this sort of dedication to honing something, that you've really dedicated yourself to self-growth. You've really dedicated yourself to understanding the different layers of different people. You've really dedicated yourself to being in your physical body. And I assume that you're probably a very good lover, physically and emotionally and mentally, because you've really done some consistent routine work to become that way, to understand, to dive in and see, well, what made that great, or what didn't make that great, or why is that the thing? But it's just that showing upness of coming back to it over and over again, that there is something very routine and habitual about you, which I love. I think that's a very attractive quality. I love the Pentacles for that. I love our Knight of Pentacles for that. I love our King of Pentacles for that. I love our Eight of Pentacles for that. I think those are incredibly enticing and alluring and attractive qualities. The showing upness, just really showing up over and over again, and being consistent, and being the person who's, well, but okay, and we're going to build something here. This is an investment. You're investing in your sensuality. You're investing in your knowledge, in your bank of information. Okay. Now we have the Seven of Cups. So it does seem like perhaps you have a very vivid imagination when it comes to this part of you, that you might fantasize a lot. I would be very curious if that can possibly get in the way when it comes to real interactions, that perhaps the real interactions lose a little bit because you've been, sort of in this imaginative space, and perhaps even sometimes you flip back to an imaginative space when you're in the middle of something real, in the thick of something real. Oh my goodness gracious. the words. But I do think that there's a part of you that's really very much in a fantasy world, in an imaginative world, which could be a good or bad thing. It really just depends. If you're not in a space to really be in something, or you just, really, like, this can be a great way to keep that part of you alive. Fantasy is a part of everybody's life, and imagination is part of everybody's life. But I also wonder if that, sort of translates and spills over to other things. Well, my words run out there with what I'm thinking of, but I would think of translating into things that are beyond just your imagination, that are, perhaps on the internet. You know what I mean? That could make it maybe more difficult even to be aware of what is driving you. But I'm not so sure about that. This perception of you being in this space does feel, like there is something there. And with that, I would think that, but being too much in that other world where you're watching someone else's content of something can be tricky, only because, sometimes it can be hard to remove yourself from that when you are in the real world again, and you're back into the real romance and the real, and trying to stay present and actually be in that real physicality. But that might not be an issue for you. Okay, let's see. How do you like what I'm doing with my words? Pretty good, right? I think I'm doing pretty good. All right, now we also have the Queen of Cups reversed. So I do feel like there's a part of you that is a little closed down to other people. So I don't feel like that perception's completely wrong. That Lover's reverse card's completely wrong. There's a little part of you that perhaps the feelings and the emotions have really become too much. There might have been something that really hurt you. There might have been something that you're recovering from, a great love that you're recovering from, or even something that wasn't a great love but still just seems very hard to get over. But something that really turned your world upside down a bit and has made you distant from your feelings and your emotions and your intuition. Which is interesting, because there is something very intuitive about your energy that people perceive off of your energy. So it is still there. Very much, of course, it's still there. But there's a part of you that might be ignoring that and might be really removing yourself and distancing yourself from your feelings, which does make sense when it comes into fantasy. And not just fantasy, if you were turning to other people's content, if you were turning to like videos and things like that, then, for your more sensual experiences, for your spicier experiences, that makes sense, because it's, it gets you outside of having to possibly accidentally bump into something that holds a lot of very real feeling for you. So this might be really disconnected from that spicier part of yourself right now, which you get to decide if that's a good or bad thing. And I think, as our high priestess would say, there are no good and bad things, really. There's space in between everything. It's the third pillar. It's not just dark, it's not just light. There's good in everything, there's bad in everything. So, but at this moment, if you wanted to turn that back around, I would like to ask a little bit about what could enhance your life? What could pull you back into the space that you want to be in? But let's do it. I would like to ask that right now. So I would like to ask, I would just like to ask if there's anything especially action-oriented that we could tap into right now that could help you along on this journey of being your fullest, most seductive, most sensuous, most alive in that energy self, where you just feel like you're having this dance with the world. But it's not just with the world, it's just a dance with life. And that you're really taking that part of you and breathing this sort of sensual life into everything that you do, and that you're alive to it in a very healthy, integrated way. So rest and recovery, which is absolutely makes the most sense. Not surprised. So letting your mind rest, giving yourself time to just rest, where you don't have to think about it. Giving yourself permission to take a vacation from your thoughts. Giving yourself permission to take recovery time. Maybe genuinely going on some sort of vacation, genuinely going on some sort of retreat, retreating into a space where, where you can just completely recharge, let go. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to be anyone. You don't have to, there's nothing to strive for. There's nothing that you have to handle or deal with. It's just rest. It really is just recovery. It isn't fixing anything. It's not putting in the work. It's really just recovery, and letting yourself take that breather. Now, also, of course, this is another card that is not really surprising at all. We have the Eight of Cups, and I'd like to point out that we had the Eight of Pentacles over here. It made me immediately think of that. So there is a part of you that is, leaning into that routine space, which I think is fantastic. Now, there's another part of you that would really benefit from moving away from the old feelings and emotions that you held. There's something that you held a lot of feeling and emotion for that really felt like a wealth. Okay, there was a huge sound outside. It was so huge that I'm not leaving it in, but I'm telling you because, outside sounds are amplifying the message. So really letting yourself start to move away from that and move away from what held so much weight for you, what held so much feeling and emotion for you. And of course, this is a difficult journey that we're talking about. This is not an easy journey. But the first step to that is that rest. So, and then starting to let yourself create some distance between you and it. Create some distance, physical distance even, but also distance from songs that make you think of those feelings. Anything, doing some cleanup, doing some spatial cleaning. Okay. And we have the Magician. I do think this feels like it's saying get back into your magical self, your magical manifestor self, feeling the power of what you have, feeling the power of the tools that are before you. And everything that you need really is within your world. You already have it. You have an incredible power, and you have an incredible ability. And letting yourself start to feel that, see that, and use that again. Whether you were really fully, completely in it before, or if some of this might even be completely new, that you're discovering new things and powers within you and abilities within you to really utilize what you have and think very full picture, all of the different ways that you can use to attain what you want, the feeling that you want, the spiciness that you want, the freedom that you want, the committedness that you want, all of those things. Oh my. Okay, my dear one, let's continue on. Now, I would like to take a look. I would like to take a look. I would just like to take a look at what the cards want to tell us. I really don't want to ask a question. I just want to see if there's anything that we need to know about your sensual energy. If there's anything in here that we just really need to know. We have the Two of Pentacles, so there's perhaps a part of you that's really balancing something. And this might be that you're balancing, it feels like you could be balancing almost a belief system about maybe good and bad, or a belief system about yourself, thinking in two different camps, or feeling two very different ways about something in particular, or something that's maybe not very particular. Maybe at times you feel, very like a wildcat, and sometimes you feel very prudish, or, like perhaps you don't know where to balance, or like what that balance is. Perhaps you're just not really figuring it out, that there's something that feels like you're just sort of swinging back and forth about something. And it doesn't have to be those two things. It could be something else. But in that range of sensuality, spiciness, seductiveness. And I want to see if there's anything else that we need to know. A lot of that, swinging can come from, early experiences as well, of what we're taught and what we know, and, just feeling like you're in yourself and what you're doing is great. And maybe feeling like, what you're doing is not great. And it's maybe, even sort of looked down upon by certain people. And we have the Knight of Wands. So also, I do think this is interesting, because I do feel like there's some thundering energy coming at you. And this feels like this is coming in from a particular person. And it feels like it is coming in with a lot of heat and a lot of attraction. It's coming in very fast and very forcefully. Just as someone who really just is going to be very persistent and very hard to say no to. Just someone that you're gonna want to be swept up in. I'm not getting a feeling off whether this is like a really good thing to lean into or not. Let's ask. But it's gonna feel like somebody is really coming in hot and heavy, and they've got a lot of physical attraction to you in an incredibly burn it up, burn it down kind of way. Interesting. So we pulled the Six of Cups, which actually I was feeling the Six of Cups energy, not within this question. So it's interesting to pull it here. So this is interesting. If we're asking about this person, there is something that's going to feel oddly known to you about them, that you're going to feel oddly like you already know them and understand them. And there might be something almost even primal about that you on some level you just already do know them, and there's something very similar about you. And it also might be nostalgic of something from the past that did hold a lot of feelings and emotions for you. I want to know just a little bit more about that person, if we can, just a tiny bit more about that person. We also have the Ace of Pentacles. So I do think that this could be a great thing to lean into. The Ace of Pentacles, the Ace is bringing new opportunities, and the Pentacles are really bringing in things of this earth. And it does feel like whatever is coming in with this person is going to feel like a gift. It is going to feel like perhaps you're understanding your body, you're understanding an experience, your sensuality, taking you to new places that you haven't really been before. It's not necessarily telling me about heart space and what this could become if you are interested in that, but it is saying that this experience could be really a gift. It could be really a gift for you. And it could also be a gift for you for moving on from something from the past. Now, I would like to know if there's, maybe we're not even meant to know. Maybe we're not meant to look too far afield, too far beyond about what this could be or where this could go. So I'm not going to ask a question. I'm just going to let the cards come up and tell me anything they want to tell me, because I do sort of feel that way. The Five of Swords pops up, and I feel this, interestingly, in your energy, that there's a part of you that does have this, I don't want to say a cruel streak, but there's a part of you that, and it does feel very cutting, very mean. And I don't know that this is geared toward anyone else. I feel like this could come up for yourself, that you could be very mean to yourself. You could be very cruel to yourself, very cutting to yourself. And there is potential that you're going to have to do some battle with yourself, or make peace with yourself, or find a way for you to see this as a gift for yourself, somehow, that this part of you still sort of needs to be integrated into all of you. That part that wants to dominate and wants to be cutting and wants to be a bit cruel and wants to be a little ferocious. And I do think that part of you sells it to you as the truth. And maybe it is the truth. I don't know. But I do feel like that the heart of you is not healthy. We all, it's natural, but it's something that you will want to figure out how to really sit down and have a conversation with yourself about this, with this part of yourself. Hey, we don't have to play like this. Let's find a different way to do this so that this doesn't actually slice me open. And we have the world. So this is telling me that one cycle is ending and a whole new cycle is beginning. I absolutely love pulling this card, and I love pulling this card at this time. This card does feel very sensual. It does feel very, very seductive. This figure is often called the dancer. Just moving through the world, and she's free, she's open, she's half naked, she's joyfully in herself. And some cycle is closing. You are letting go of something brand new and fresh is opening up for you. And it's going to feel free, and like you are dancing through it, and like it is joyful. And like you can fully expose yourself. You can just be yourself. And that space is going to feel so good. So good for you. And I really am so happy that we pulled that card. I want to pull our anchor card. So here we have our anchor card, and it's from our Animal and Angel Oracle deck, because I wanted to see I thought it would be fun to tap into your animal energy for this particular reading. I thought it also could end up being very funny because all of the animals are not, a tiger or there are lots of different types of animals. And we pulled a rabbit for you. Recognize your significance. I love this. This energy, I just saw a video of a rabbit being a total incredible, bad, that you just like this energy where you're like, oh yeah, rabbits, cute, fun. No, this rabbit was amazing. I actually saw 2 videos of rabbits being amazing. One where they did an incredible physical feat of jumping over a bird of prey. And then another where they tricked some other animal that was chasing them. And then were able to get it. They were so smart. And so there is something fierce and ferocious here, that you're able to take care of yourself. There's also something really fun about being able to move fast and jump high and be in a kind of rabbit energy. Recognize your significance. And then this is a handwritten card for you. Play. Well, that's perfect, isn't it? Play. I wrote them down, completely forgot what they were, so this was a nice surprise for me too. Play. Enjoy yourself. Let yourself just play. Be playful, flirtatious. Enjoy it. You don't have to take it too seriously. You can let yourself just be playful. Ooh, I love this. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for being here. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. You know that it means the world to me. It means the world to my team. And it also lets us know to do more just like this. Let's drop a rabbit below. I'd love to hear comments. I know that this is something that's probably very asking a lot for you to comment on, but if you feel comfortable commenting on it, please do. Also, you can say things that are not exposing you in any way and comment on it. You can just, make fun of my word choices if you like. Let me know how I did with it. And if you want more like this is the first time that I'm doing a reading like this for YouTube. We've had Dahlia do it. Yes, spice it up. Let me know. I want to hear. I'm sending you so much love and so much light until I see your precious self again. Mwah. Mia.